All right.
So
some of it.
we are back. We are back on Sador Radio. This is the Deeva Show. We are live with Troy and him, and we are talking about a lot of different things. We're talking about filmmaking. We're talking about how he got started, and I had a couple questions before I get into the short films that they did that I talked about before we went to break. I'm just going to ask some. I'm almost positive that they have been asked these questions before, but I'm going to ask it. You know, I just commented to them about their gear that they have on today. No, we didn't talk. I have the camouflage one. They have on the camouflage shorts too. So, which leads me to my questions that I want to ask them. Often, you guys dress alike.
Yes.
My question is, has there been times where you all have been on opposite sides of what
Every
you
time.
wanted to wear?
Oh yeah, every time.
Really? But you still dress
And people would
alike.
not believe that when they see us
That's
dressed alike.
every time we get
That
dressed.
it took us like days to read on to
But eventually we come to a compromise because of the marketability.
right.
Okay.
But it doesn't happen like that. Oh yeah, it's a battle.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see you guys, you're always like,
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Next time you see us, say, yeah, this took y'all all year.
Always, sometimes we'll come up with creative ways to like who gets dressed first. This is what I put on.
Right.
All right, fine. I gotta go put that on.
Exactly. It's that's the kind of
Yeah.
Wow.
default there.
Or if we're shopping, if somebody's not available, like you'll go. Look, I'm working, but you gotta get something to wear to premiere. All right, I'm off.
At that point, I said, I got carte blanche now. You gotta wear whatever I get.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can tell by my face in the pictures, but I'm like this.
Yeah.
It's because
he wasn't there.
Like,
Yeah. I
Oh,
gotta,
wow. That's interesting.
that definitely happens quite a bit.
Okay. I had to ask that question.
That is not an easy task.
every time we get dressed.
Pretty much. Way too much.
Other question. Y'all share your Facebook?
We do. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if y'all really aware of that, but they share a Facebook page. So
We share all our social media.
All our social media.
how is that though? Because I mean, I'm just gonna say because I can't. I mean, of course, I don't have a twin. I love my brother to death. I really do, but I couldn't see myself sharing with him. My brother's thoughts are completely different than mine. When I say completely, we do share a lot of thoughts, but I'm just saying like he is low key. That's why a lot of you haven't really seen him like that. He doesn't do pictures like that, you know. So you don't see a whole bunch of pictures of him on social media. Only time I know my brother's on social media is when one of my family members may, you know, say something,
Okay.
and he'll give him a word of encouragement. It's like he'll just jump in there and give him a word of encouragement. But you don't. I go on this page, he may not have posted since last year.
Oh wow.
You know, but he'll, you know, inbox me funny stuff that he sees on there, you know, stuff like that. So, how is it? Do y'all agree on the post whenever y'all post?
For me, I think it's interesting. I think it's fun to watch people try to figure out who's saying what, who posts what.
I think
it's fun.
So we actually
But
have
they
our own hashtags and stuff now.
But we can tell who really pays attention because people can tell, I know Trey posted that, or I know Troy posted that.
Right.
They'll follow. The last thing he posted like this, like he got his little catchphrase he uses, that's that, and mine's is indeed. And so people can tell,
See, yeah, I got it now. He just told me to speak for it.
But it's not bad. It's like we don't like, you know, this debate. We do behind closed doors. Like if he's having a disagreement like with somebody, he's somebody that will he wants that Trump, like the Trumper. He'll get on there and argue with like Trumpers. And like I look and it's like 60 messages back and forth, and then I'll jump in and say, how long are you gonna keep this up? Like, why are you wasting your time? And he's like, yeah, I can't let people talk about Barack like that. I'm like, I'm not doing that, but yeah, he'll be on there for hours.
And he loves telling people his location.
Yeah, like I'm traveling. Oh yeah, I'm traveling. I'm like, yeah, you got.
He loves telling people I'm just in the bar sipping wine watching the game. Yeah, he loves that.
Yeah.
I can understand that, and that's what I was going to ask you. So, you know, when I'm not going to, don't get me wrong, I don't want you to be offended by this.
We'll get offended.
It is something that I attach it to, but when someone is emotional about something, you know what I mean? So, when I do see certain responses and stuff like that, not on your page or anything like that, but when I see it go on and on and on and on and on, I know I won't just say emotional, I'll say passionate.
Right.
You know, I know someone's very passionate about it, so you will stop and be like,
Yeah, and I let it go on. You know, he goes on for a while. You know, what I mean, I'm sure by the time I step in, hopefully he's ready to stop anyway. Because I'm like, this person is not.
I've gotten into it about things that you posted, and people wanted to put their little 2 cents in, and
Exactly.
he says nothing. I'm like, oh, can I have this, please?
I don't say anything.
I'm like, oh, bro, can I have this one? Can I have this one, please?
I feel like I'm giving the impression that I have time to waste on you, and I'm like, I really don't. I mean, you know, people say, oh, well, you such and such. I'm like, why even respond to that? Because guess what? That makes it seem like I'm just as idle as you are.
Mine is a terrible thing to waste. You got to give people a piece of it.
No, man.
Sometimes we got to give people a piece of it.
well, you know what? I agree with both of you. I can't tell you how many times that, you know, a lot of times, not so much with my page, because I learned over the years to stop posting anything that people would have to respond to.
Sure.
So to speak.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to figure it out. I don't post anything personal. What's going on emotionally. I mostly just post advertisements and, you know, push people and market people and stuff like that.
Right.
But, you know, there are those that wait for those moments. You know,
So they can jump right on it.
so they can, you know, sink those teeth in and jump right in there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump into some. I had to ask a question because I was like, I said to myself,
It's not bad.
They share a page.
It's really not as bad. It's you know, it works well for us, and it's, you know, we get to channel traffic into one page as opposed to having the Trevor page and the Troy page, and then it's like, so you can have all that on one page, of course.
That's,
you know.
I'm going to say it's very smart.
Yeah.
And it's unique, you know, and I think that people will look at it as being unique and not have to, definitely not have to communicate.
Oh yeah, like
Well,
people will inbox us, message us, or they'll send something to DM, and then somebody responds, and they're like, "Okay, which one am I talking to?"
Which one is this?
And we're like, "Yes."
Figure it out.
Just like you did when we
We're
went
like,
to lunch.
yeah,
You were
we're like,
like,
which one do you think?
you were like, I said, okay, which one is it? She was like, yes.
Yes,
And I'm
guess
like,
who too.
gosh.
Which
And
one am I talking to? Both. We sound like talking to both of us.
so last year,
Mm-hmm.
2 short films.
Yes.
Did you complete them at the same
Oh
time?
yes. No. One was in the beginning of the year, and so like one was during the spring, and the second one came in the fall. So
You know, sometimes it takes people a year or 2 just to do that.
I know.
And I mean, you know, I'm just going to say I don't understand, but yeah.
I don't either. I'm not. You know, that's
I
another
mean-
place where he and I have. I'm very much about, you know, move. He's like, well, if you go slowly, you'll get. I'm like, I know people that have gotten it done.
I just don't like wasting. I don't
quickly.
like wasting time.
So, you know, some people, it takes them longer and they make a good product. I know some people that get it done like that and make a good product. So
I'm kind of that.
my hourglass is like this. It's like my hourglass is moving quickly. I don't have more time to say, let's do this next year. No.
I don't mind things moving
No.
fast, as long as it's moving fast and efficient.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
I agree with that.
Yes.
As long as it's,
Fast
you
and
know.
just, hey, you know, we've all been there. You can see a project that somebody was just, and not to stifle anybody's vision, they just put it together and put it out there. And you're like, how much time went into this? How much time did you take so you just got your little final draft and you got your crew and you all making a movie? Okay. I mean, if that's,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh,
hey,
you saying some of the things.
Yeah.
You saying some of the things that I'm saying.
You're like, you're
mind,
in my
I can't
head.
say out
It's
loud.
in my head.
listen, it's almost like a kindergarten class and you pass out crayons and instruct every person in that room has a right to put their art onto a piece of paper. Who's stopping you? Who's stopping you? Right? Who's stopping you? But then you go around the room to see the ones that actually have
Only
the
one
potential.
person got a star.
only one person that you can see, maybe 5 or 6 have the actual talent to be a writer, maybe be an artist someday, and some of them are just enjoying themselves.
Right.
I'm gonna make films I do enjoy myself when I do it, but I do want to be good at it. I want to be good at it.
And that's the way I look at it. Everything, as far as I'm concerned, everything I do has to have a purpose.
Sure.
Or
Sure.
or like you
My
said,
name
or
is
I'm
on it.
wasting time.
My name
Yes.
That's right.
My
And
name
that's
is
the
on it.
thing.
My name and my face.
I'm very passionate about things that I have my name on. It's just, if some people say, oh, you have to, you know, be a little biblical and this and the other, but I don't care if I'm a part of something else or what have you. If I'm a part of it, then I'm bringing something to the table. That means when those credits scroll, my name is in there.
Somewhere.
And
Right.
that means that it has to be right. So I
This is
don't
still
want
a
somebody to be
reflection
like,
of me.
why would you doing that?
And we're all good parents. We're you know, it matters to me that people walk away from the theater the film saying, yo, that affected them in some way.
Right.
Even if it just inspired them, you know what, I always wanted to be a filmmaker. If that makes them say, Dave, if he can do it, I can do it.
Mhm.
I want my kids to say, look, I've worked hard on something. If you want something, you just work hard on it, and you can have it, and you can be good at it. There's a lot going through my mind when I sit and write a screenplay or when I make a movie. And, money is always at the end of the list of things that I'm thinking about. I don't think about that stuff. I think about doing a good how next movie and how people receive it. And that's what matters. Yes.
And which brings me to the 2 short films, like you said, that you completed last year. One of them was Lost Light Sound Hearts.
Yes, correct.
And the other one was called Caesarea. Now, true stories.
Both
I
inspired by
noticed
true
that
stories.
you do, true stories.
Yes.
Which I find true stories reach audiences more than others. Now, there are some true stories that are out there that are not told well, but
Right.
true stories pull on, I think, the emotional piece from people because it's usually something they can relate to.
Sure.
Is there, outside of, relating to your audience, is there a specific reason that you stick to true stories?
I think, but personally, I like true stories. Well, of course, it starts with us being identical twins. It's really hard for us to find. We want to work together. We don't mind not working together, but we would like to work together on certain projects. So guess what? We got to create our own avenue where we can have roles that both of us can play and we can work together. So, guess what? The light bulb comes on to do some stories about twins. So we can get a chance to actually share the screen together. And there's so many stories out there about twins that you wouldn't believe that would make good films. But for me, it needs to be something that has some kind of social relevance. Just like the one film that we did was about, twin brothers who were from South Africa who were pretty much in prison because the government thought they were plotting terrorist attack. That's called Caesarea. That is so relevant right now, even in this country with the president that we had and with all the controversy going on after 9/11. It's just like everybody with a beard is not a criminal.
And they kept getting denied access. They wanted to actually go to South Africa for more religious freedoms than where they are living.
Right.
But they kept getting denied because, for some reason or another, the government had them on this terrorist watch list because of certain.
They're trying to go to Syria to join ISIS.
And
and it's like, you can't treat people like that just because they are of Islamic faith. And now these guys have been sitting in prison for 5 years with no trial.
They move different.
No justification.
It's different over there.
Oh yeah, whole
process is way different.
Wow.
Exactly. So I mean, outside of their story, why they're there, it just has so much relevance. That can happen to anybody. That can happen to anybody anywhere that they think, guess what? You look like something. Yeah, we're going to hold you because you look like you're going to do something wrong.
Yes.
So or we suspect that.
And this isn't new. I mean, we're all from the same era, so you can even think back to when when Reagan was going through it with the Iranians, and it's always in my mind, people of color or people of a minority always they're the enemy, they're the scary ones, and all you have to do is be that. All you have to do is be that.
And you are now, that's it.
When as a police officer for 20 years, I can tell you that terrorism comes from all races. It's a terrorist of all colors.
Even how they use the term.
Terrorist of all colors.
When it's about Islam, when somebody has an Islamic beard, or it's about that, it's terrorism. When a Caucasian does something, blows up, they don't use the word terrorism.
No.
They don't use the word terrorism when you blow up the relay race.
The country doesn't they don't want to classify mass shootings as that's a form of terrorism.
That's terrorism.
I studied terrorism since I've been a police officer. That's a form of terrorism.
They never
Why
say
do they want to classify it? Because most mass shooters are what?
Yeah.
that's actually.
Caucasian. They don't. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not trying to. It's reality.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a form of terrorism.
It's only terrorism.
It's called domestic terrorism. That's what it's called.
So pretty much you're classified by color, whether it's terrorism or not.
It's really deep.
Yeah.
Where we want to talk about your other short film, but where can they see Call This Area, or is it still?
They're actually both still in the festival circuit, so there's a really strict rules as far as this, as far as screenings. We've had private screenings for our families and the cast and crew members and stuff like that. But as far as it being released for people, it's still circulating in the festival circuit. So
y'all gotta get out to these festivals.
Yeah, you gotta come out to the festival and
film.
see it. So yeah, definitely.
And Lost Light Sound Hearts.
Yes.
What is that one about?
True story.
That's another inspired by a true story.
I will say that he's great at finding true story.
It's that one was inspired by the story of twin brothers who were born deaf, and then they both started to go blind at the same time. Also, this is a complete true story.
You're from Belgium.
So it again, it's about relevance because of course, being, death, of course, is something that we need to, people think about certain things going on in the world. Like everybody's talking about cancer. Everybody talks about, like AIDS or HIV. There are people out there with disabilities who are blind, who are deaf,
Who are deaf blind.
who are deaf and blind. And so, and those are things that you really don't hear people talk about with all the other like epidemics and things that are, going on. And like you never hear many people talk about, the blind community or the deaf community. And, there's millions of people out there who are, affected by this. And you don't see much, especially in cinema. You don't see, every now and then you might see a movie about somebody, like Scent of a Woman, or so, but how many films do you see about cancer, HIV? It's like they're bombarding you with that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like they bombarded the market because when they just started to do them, they realized they had to capture the audience.
Sure.
And it's like now it's like flooding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yep. And that stuff is relevant. I mean, I lost my mother to cancer. I lost my grandparents to cancer. Trust me, I got it. But there are other stories to tell.
Yes. And I agree. I haven't really seen other than what, right?
Right. Okay. Like a Ray, Scent of a Woman. What's the other one? With Chris, what's his name? Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
I can't think of the title, but it's not. You can probably count them. If we all say talked about, we can count all the movies about deaf or blind people.
Absolutely.
But then how it would probably take 50 of us to talk about all the movies about cancer and all the movies about the crack epidemic and what was I going to say the cancer, the AIDS, that kind of stuff. It's like every movie that somebody's talking about that.
This is true.
Not very many about the deaf or blind community.
So currently, you're working on Holding.
Yes.
Right?
That's inspired by another.
And this is a feature film.
This is our first feature, yeah. This is
First feature film.
our first feature. Yes.
Okay. And what can we look forward to in Holding? You're laughing. What can we look forward to in Holding?
Because this guy was stories.
He always makes it like he puts me on the spot because I'm that
characters he pulled.
We have like a process, and I'm always the one that goes and finds like the premises and stuff, and then he'll take it and develop the storyline, and then we'll get together and we'll do the screenplay and stuff. It's like I'm always searching for the next story, and I'm like, oh, I'll email him. I'm like, look at this, and he's like, let's get on it. Great story. So with Holding, it's another one inspired by the true story. Twin brothers who were kidnapped as children, and then when they became adults, they abducted the daughters of this corrupt politician. They try to like negotiate their mom to like pretty much black their mom out of prison. And it's just ironic how something that the captors became the captors. Right, exactly. Yeah. And people are like, this stuff really happened. This really happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, people that they seem very busy. You got a lot going on. You got
a little bit. No, not too busy.
Not too busy.
We take time out for having a nice
go kayak.
Yeah, go kayak. We hop in the kayak every now and then.
Okay. And hike.
We hike. We climb some mountains.
That's cool.
In our spare time.
So if they wanted to see some of the work that you have done that is available, you have a website, right?
We do. We pretty much have we have a YouTube channel. Of course, we have like our trailers and stuff on IMDb, on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram. You can pretty much go in there and see trailers from any of our work that we've done, even with other people, other projects.
So your website is, what's the name of it?
What is our website? It's I believe it's www.twintone.com. .twintone.com.
And all our social media pages are all Troy Trevor Parham. It's really Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
everything. Troy Trevor Parham.
Did y'all get that? Did y'all get
Troy
that?
Trevor Parham. He had to have his name first because he's 6 minutes older. He won't get one.
It's my baby brother. That's why I keep telling people that.
He has to put his name in front of mine all the time.
I keep telling respect his elders. He don't listen.
It is 6 minutes.
It's a whole 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
a whole 6 minutes.
Okay, but he's older. But why?
Like eternity when you're in labor.
I got the name with more letters. My name has more letters. So why is that?
It flows better. Troy Trevor.
I don't know about that. I think Trevor Troy.
Well, I mean, if they heard Trevor Troy, they probably
would say that flows better, right? Yeah. Exactly. It's about what you hear, what will flow well. But now they hear Troy Trevor. So.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming in. And listen, I'm just going to say to you all that I hope that you pick up on some things. I hope that you actually take the time to get some tickets to go out to a festival. What is the festivals that they're currently in right now that they may be able to check out? You probably got a whole list, right?
Yeah, it's
all right.
It's a lot. Just a
listen,
couple.
I'm just gonna say to you all that,
We'll share it on social media. How about that?
They'll share it
We'll
on
share the
social-
list on social media. That's
here
it.
we go. That's what's up. They'll share the list of where you can check out the short films. And if you like their page, and then you can follow their journey on while they create their current feature film that they're working on called
Yes.
Holding.
Yes.
And like he said, the IMDb page. I'm sorry, I'm tongue tied. I haven't had any of my water. But
Yeah, right.
the IMDb page, so that it's Troy and Trevor Parham, so that you can actually follow them, check out the trailers, because the trailer will let you know what you're in for, and prayerfully, they'll get what they're looking for with distribution, and
Yes.
you'll be able to see them, see it on the big screen and check it out. So we're going to get ready to go on the other side. Is there anything else that you would like to say to them?
Thanks for having us. And,
Thanks for having us.
We want to come back, and we enjoy talking to you. You know that we like to talk. So.
And we want to know when she's going to direct something. Nudge.
Yeah, she's supposed
We
to
got
be-
lots of scripts.
He needs to
got
be
a
working.
lot of
He needs to be directing some of these films.
Yeah, lots of scripts.
So listen, we did talk about it. We did talk about it, and we're going to talk about it some more, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I love your energy, I love your spirit, and I love the fact that you do true stories, because I do just the same.
Thank you.
So I am looking forward to working with you guys, and we're going to talk about that some more.
Let's get it.
Um,
Let's get it.
I want to make sure that y'all stay tuned. Check out their pages. You really got to follow them. They're very interesting. They're very funny. They travel all over, and they keep things very interesting. And that's what we need in the industry is positive filmmakers that are here to make a difference and want to deliver messages and stories through their talent. And that's what they're doing. And I love that. So we're getting ready to listen to some music. I'm going to pause for the cause, take you on the other side. We want to thank Trevor and Troy. I said it, Trevor.
Thank you.
She got it in there. She got it in there.
My name first.
Yes, you will never ever hear that again.
Mine first.
You were the first one
Thank
for
you.
you, so you would never say.
That was good enough. That was good enough. Trust me.
So I want to thank them for being on the show, and look forward to me directing one of their pieces.
Yes.
I can't wait to work with these guys. And we're going to see you on the other side. We're going to shut down for a minute. I'm going to bring you back. You are on Sador Radio with the Deeva Show. I got to come back. I got to give you some information because my time is changing. All right. So hold on, and I'll talk with you on the other side.
Uh-oh. Money, power, respect.
Kid alive.
I got to cuss out some idiots here all the time. Good job, you mean? They call you for work? Yep.